So good morning, esteemed colleagues and participants. Welcome to the second day of our national level online faculty development program on harnessing artificial intelligence to revolutionize pharmaceutical education and research, hosted by School of Pharmacy, PP Savani University, Gujarat. After the ecstatic session yesterday with Father Sabu Thomas, today's we are moving on to a very important topic: how to use AI to help you publish our work. So, today we are going to learn about AI tools that can make publishing easier and better. Trust me, the tips and tricks we will discuss here today is super helpful. Make sure you don't miss out on opportunity these useful skills. So now let's extend a warm welcome to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Sanisha, who will be delivering his insightful talk on the AI empowered scholar charting a new path in academic publishing. So let me introduce our esteemed guest, Dr. Sanisha. Dr. Sanisha is serving as an associate professor at Government Pharmacy College, Gandhinagar. Dr. Sunny joined Government Pharmacy College in January 2009 and has been serving since then after clearing the prestigious Gujarat Public Service Commission GSPC examination. Dr. Shah has strong academic credentials, having received his master's in pharmaceutical technology and biopharmaceutics from Nirma University, Ahmedabad, and his PhD from Saurashtra University, Rajkot, Gujarat. His PhD thesis was shortlisted for the best PhD thesis in India by the Pharma Innovation Thesis Award under the aegis of DST, Government of India. He has also received research and travel grants from various bodies. Dr. Shah has published over 40 papers in international peer-reviewed journals and presented his research work at several national and international seminars and conferences. He is a reviewer of many high-repute international journals. His expertise lies in FND and small molecules, design of experiments and statistical analysis, and of course, ethical application of AI in research writing. In addition to his academic work, Dr. Shah is also an active administrator. He actively leads important portfolios such as the crucial establishment department, HR management system in the college. Dr. Shah also an active member of various important committees such as district level purchase committee, institute research committee, etc. So please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Sunny Shah for his session. Dr. Shah, if you are there, please unmute and you can start your presentation.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir, loud and clear.
Thank you for your very generous introduction. I hope I'm audible to all of you.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me first, just a minute, sir. I'll share the presentation. Is the screen visible? The presentation screen. Okay. Thank you, sir, for very generous introduction. It is my utmost pleasure to be a part of this national workshop, national conference, FDP, for application of AI in pharmaceutical research and development. Yesterday, I and sir were discussing that what yesterday was taught and what was the response which the host institute received, and I'm extremely delighted to see that the participants are very enthusiastic to attend this conference. To start with, I'm really thankful to the organizer, to the principal, to the management for allowing me and giving me a platform and opportunity to present my views on the ethical use of AI in research and publication. These are the objectives of the FDP. Just to have a glimpse to all the participants, just to decide the topic of this presentation, just to decide the topic on which the interaction has to be there. Samresh sir and me and myself, where we discussed almost 2 days that what should be the exact topic, and the host institute should be congratulated for designing such excellent objectives for the FDP. In line with this FDP, what today we are going to do is we would first have a brief introduction of AI. What is AI, the genesis of AI, different types of AI, how AI would be helpful. Then I would be reusing a couple of my slides from the previous lectures on how to write a research paper, review paper, just a couple of slides. Then we are going to discuss various tools which could be used as aid for writing publications, and some of the takeaways. I would be sharing some of the crafted prompts which we can use to write, or which we can use to improve our publication skills. Starting with the Industrial Revolution, we can see that after the first Industrial Revolution, that was based on mechanization and water and steam power, the scale for working in industry, the speed with which the industry works has changed drastically. See, what is the purpose of introducing this slide? When for the first industrial revolution, which involved mechanization, water power, and steam power, we have now reached up to Industry 4.0, which AI is a part of. Why we are discussing this? Because even when, see, yesterday we and Roy sir were discussing that for first couple of 5-10 minutes, I would like to re-establish the fact that the researchers should not stay away from using AI in their publications. Even the reputed journals now allow us to use AI with a with a overview and supervision over what we have done. So one of the example which I could cite here is that the telephone, that when telephone was invented for the first time, it was seen that telephone would kill or end number of numerous messengers, and therefore when it was invented for the very first time, we could see that it was not accepted very well. The same is also going to happen. At present, we would not be able to have even an idea that a world could exist without a telephone. The same is also going to happen with AI. Just to have an example of pharmaceutical sector, we would have in the preliminary part, we would have in our preliminary part of our career, we would have seen the clinical trials. I mean, people used to say that clinical trials are very harmful to animals and the animals should not be tested on drugs. However, it has now been established that because we are able to test drugs on animals, we are able to cure so many diseases. The idea is that the idea which I wanted to float in the start itself is that instead of staying away from AI, because we think that we cannot use AI for professional writing or for publication writing, we should try to adopt AI because it is the force which I don't think so anybody would be able to stop. We can see the AI technology enablers for Industry 4.0, that it has so many advantages, starting from accuracy, precision, it is quick, resilient, it is able to optimize, and so on and so forth. Just to have an idea, these are the various AI tools that are available in the market, and the accuracy is given. What we are going to do today is we are not going to get into details of any of this. this is just an overview that various tools are there, such as GPT-4, Gemini, Palm 2, Llama, Vecuna, Cloud 2, MDT Mixtral, and Stable LLM, Grok, and their benchmarks. These are the various tools which are there already available in the market and their benchmarks. I would quickly move on to the more interesting part. Within just 5 days, ChatGPT, after its launch in November 2022, within just 5 days, ChatGPT was able to cross 1 million users. To have a scale, Netflix took 3.5 years to reach, Twitter took 2 years to reach 1 million users. Going further on this, it just took ChatGPT 2 months to reach 100 million users. To have an idea, Google Translate took 78 months to reach 100 million global users. The point which I wanted to float in the initial part of the presentation was that it is that force that if we are not along with that force, if we do not align ourselves with that force, definitely we are going to lose something. For example, a study was conducted by Nature Publications, and it was seen that 31% of the postdoc changed how they write papers after the advent of AI chatbots. That is, AI chatbots means chatbots such as ChatGPT or Cloud or all such Perplexity or all such things. And therefore, the guilt that why we should use AI, why we should not write ourselves, the AI is going to kill creativity, the AI is going to plagiarize data, the AI is going to generate fake citations, generate fake data, could be true up to a certain extent until there is no human supervision. Once there is appropriate human supervision, we could definitely harness the potential of AI in writing publications. Just to have an idea, a case was there in New York wherein a mother visited 17 different doctors. A mother visited 17 different doctors because her child, her 4-year child, was having toothache. The mother was fed up of that toothache, and she was compelled. She was forced to give morphine every day to that to that kid every day, so that the kid is able to bear that pain. Somehow, that mother came to know about ChatGPT, and she just fed ChatGPT with the symptoms of the disease, and ChatGPT then came out with the diagnosis that the child could suffer from teeth cord syndrome. Now, what is to be understood here is that when a person visits 17 doctors, definitely there is nothing wrong with the current system of diagnosis. However, there could be certain limitations to the human mind, that human mind is not able to grasp all such things at a time. The diagnosis given by ChatGPT stand true, and that even though that child was having toothache, the actual problem was neurological problem. So the idea which I wanted to float is that if we are able to use ChatGPT or any such AI application, that is in sense, if we are able to use any such AI applications with human supervision, then definitely we could achieve our desired results in a quite shorter period of time. Some of the statistics, see why we are using ChatGPT. There are so many AI applications available. However, ChatGPT is the most proficient of all, or not, if not proficient, is the most well-known of all the AI applications available. And we can see that at present in August 2024, over 180.5 million monthly users are there for ChatGPT, which is, and OpenAI spends approximately $7 lakh every day to operate ChatGPT. That is fine. All these statistics tends no value if you are not able to use it. For example, when we would do a simple Scopus search, then we can see that after the advent of AI in November 2022, in 2023, almost 2,000 articles mentioned ChatGPT in their text or in their title, or etc., which shows that people are streamlining themselves for using of AI towards their publication writing. Whenever we are writing a publication, obviously the purpose is that we want to publish the paper. The well-known standard publishing authorities or well-known standard publishers such as Elsevier, now they mandate the authors that they must declare the use of generative AI in scientific writing, which also points out the fact that the journal accedes to the fact that the authors are going to use generative writing in their generative AI in their scientific writing. However, the use of generative AI in scientific writing means we are synthesizing some information from the AI application. If you are just using AI to improve grammar, then it's fine. If you are just using AI to check spelling and improve the syntax and grammar of the sentences, then it's fine. We need not to mention it. However, the word ethical in AI writing again is very critical. Why it is critical? Because if we are using AI for writing a publication, then it has to be mentioned explicitly in the footnote section just before references everywhere that yes, we had used this AI applications to improve the writing, to improve this part of the manuscript, and it was done specifically with human supervision, and all of the content has been cross-checked before it has been included in the manuscript. So this has to be written explicitly in the manuscript. Why it is important that we should use human supervision? These are some of the published paper, and we could see this is just a snapshot of Google Scholar. We can see that some of the text still has written as an AI language model. Just to make sure whenever we are publishing a paper, it goes through rigorous screening. All of us know that even after the authors review it, even if the authors prepare it, it is reviewed by the reviewers. It is then taken by the office assistants, editor office assistants, and it is taken up by the editors, and then again proofread by authors. And then also after so much of blocks, even if this appears in a paper, that definitely means that we should, as an author, we should have critical supervision over whatever we are writing in AI from AI. This is one of the abstract, and we can see regenerate response is there in this, which definitely means that authors would have used some of the AI applications. Then you would have, everybody of us uses ChatGPT while we are working on any such applications. We would have seen this is some of the sentence. Certainly, here is a possible introduction for your topic, which the chatbot generates every now and then. So what we would be doing in the end part of this session, I would be sharing some of the prompts which have been crafted specifically so that the AI applications don't give out such words which are already available, and which makes the end user feel that this has been generated from AI. So from AI et al, we wish to move towards AI square et al. This AI square et al is, after using artificial intelligence, we should use artificial intelligence along with applications and implications. That is, applications and implications. Let me put it in a way which we are able to understand. For example, let us assume there is a suspension. The suspension is eventually going to sediment. That suspension is eventually going to sediment. But if we would centrifuge that suspension, then we are able to achieve the sedimentation faster as compared to the normal routine sedimentation. On the same lines, let us assume we are going for stress testing of pharmaceutical drug substance. Now, in this stress testing, we are accelerating the stress factors. Eventually, that pharmaceutical compound is going to degrade, but we are accelerating those conditions so that we can understand what happens in a shorter period of time. The use of AI is also similar to that. That eventually we were to find out what is there in the literature review, what is there to write the paper. But if we are using AI, then we could do it a bit faster, a bit simpler, a bit easier, with a better oversight. However, having said so, every time even a single word generated by AI has to be supervised, because what is this AI? If everybody of us know what is ChatGPT, it is generative from pre-trained models. Now, what is generative pre-trained models? Whenever these the algorithms for this AI are built, every time they would capture information from all the sources available. Now, at the time of capturing information, it is not always that this AI would be dependent on certain authentic sources. It is going to capture all the sources available. Now, there could be some unpublished material which might not have been verified, and it is already available on the internet. And due to this, what can happen is AI could also take that as the source which is not authentic, but AI would consider that as an authentic, and it might just it might not give the exact results as we require. And therefore, whenever we are using AI, the artificial intelligence should be coupled with applications and implications. So today, what we are going to do is we would be discussing ethical use of AI in publications, and just since we just discussed that it is fastering the process, we should not forget that the exact note taking should not be replaced, and that is it is as good as that nutrition. The supplements are useful, but they cannot replace the diet. They are supplement, they should not be replaced for diet. On the same lines, these AI generated summaries, AI generated writing, they could help us, but it never replaces the actual writing part. This we are going to discuss practically. This is the publication process. I have specifically taken this cartoon. It shows that even the author has done so much of good work, author feels that we have done so much of good work, and when it goes to the publication process, the editors, the reviewers, the office assistants, the whole process is such that they don't want the paper to get published, and it is evaluated very, very critically. And after all this, paper gets accepted. So what we could do is we would try to use AI in each of these part. We can try to use AI in improving the writing part of the publication. We could try to use AI in drafting cover letters. We could try to use AI in answering to reviewer comments. We could try to use AI in generating references, etc., until until the paper gets accepted. This is I have reused this slide from my previous presentations. See, whenever we are writing a paper, what I would feel personally is that we would first write with materials and methods, then we would go to figures and tables, because both of these are readily available. Then we would be writing results and discussion. Then we would be writing introduction section. Then the references, then abstract, then keywords, and then the title. The title would be comprehensive of all of the work that has been written in the paper. What we are going to do today is we would try and figure out that what AI tool could be used in each of this part. What AI tool could be used in each of these parts, so that we are able to write the references quickly. We are able to write the publication very quickly. We are now starting with various tools. For these various tools, what we would do is, there are so many tools, different tools, which we are going to discuss. For some of the tools, we would directly go to the web page and see that how it would be used in our presentation or in our publication that we are writing down. Okay. The first and the foremost is 10minutemail.com, and now see the QR code here on the top right corner for my screen. The QR code, it would help us to identify that if we want to directly go to that web page, then how we are able to go to that web page. This is 10minutemail.com. This 10minutemail.com would give us an idea, would help us to have email addresses which are valid only for 10 minutes. For all those websites, for all those AI applications in which we feel that we do not want the history to be remembered, we could use this email ID generated from 10minutemail.com. This is valid for 10-20 minutes. Once we would log in, we would activate our account. We would store the ID password for that AI application, and whenever we want to use it, we could log into that. So it would not spam our actual web page, our actual mail. It would not spam us. It would help us to generate email IDs which are just use and throw. That's it. Then one more web page we are going to discuss is the u.com. See, I have not taken into consideration the most prominent five web pages which are used, five tools which are used for as an AI tool: Cloud, Gemini, then Bing, ChatGPT, Perplexity. All this, I mean, everybody of us would be knowing it. So I have not considered that. This is U browser, u.com. The advantage with this u.com is that it would help us to use GPT-4, GPT-4 mini, then smart GPT-4o research, and again all such tools. It gives 3 uses free per day. So if we are of the view that we want to use best of the model available for AI complementarily every day, then the smart part of this u.com, it is free. But when I would be clicking GPT-4 Turbo, it would give me 3 chances every day, and it would refill ourselves. We would be able to use 3 every day. Most of the times, what I have done today is we would be discussing only those tools which are almost free. It could be limited by the number which we are able to use it per day, but it does not. They don't ask for any payment even by registration, or it is not a free trial that we would be using it for a couple of days and then it expires. No, the tools which probably almost all the tools which we are going to discuss, they would be free as freeware, but limited by the number of uses per day, not forever. Then we would be discussing Wise1. Again, just for those who have just joined, this the QR code on the right top corner would help us to identify, to click directly there, and we could use. Wise1 is a very important tool. Let us discuss this. For example, I would be opening just PubMed, and just to have an idea, what we are going to do is we would be I'm just writing a paper on applications of nanotechnology for treatment of neurological disorders, and we would be using this tool every time just to have an idea that how we could generate all these things. We would just do a simple Google search, PubMed search for this paper, click on any of the link, and now allow Wise1 to interact with this. Allow Wise1 to interact with this. See, it is going to summarize the whole web page. Now we can see that we need not to go and read the whole paper itself. This Wise1 would generate a very quick summary. We would look at the summary. Is this summary useful to us? If it is useful to us, then what we could do is we could save this reference, and besides this reference, we could have this summarized text. So it would be helpful for us to generate quick summaries from web pages. Apart from this, if you could just see, then each of this is also, we are also able to check each of this while using Wise1. So for quick summaries from web pages, this Wise1 would help us to save time. And see, whenever we are writing literature review for a review paper, we would have seen that whenever we are discussing the introduction to the literature review, the rationale for preparing all this proposal, then we need to write so many things. I mean, so many review articles have to be reviewed. Every time when we would read the whole article and then write, better is we would first read the summary of that article. If that summary fits, then we would read that article itself and then include that article in our review manuscript, so that it is just a minute, so that it would help us to save time. Then this is Strinka, one very good AI application. What does this Strinka does is this Strinka would allow us to have 5,000 word paper we have to upload this paper on Trinka, and it would give us an option to download this paper and it would improve the spelling, grammar, scientific writing, etc., for that paper. Now we are able to upload 5,000 word one paper or 5,000 word two papers or 10,000 word one paper complementarily. And we can see just as I was using this around 22nd June 2023, just to see how it works. And I have seen that it gives some very good results. It improves some grammatical mistakes. It improves some text syntax errors. It also corrects the wrong short forms which we would have given. The only disadvantage with which I feel is that once we upload a paper with references, we have cited some references, and when we would upload it, the paper which gets downloaded, the reference links are not there. So what we can do is, before referencing the paper, we should upload it to Trinka. Once we would download the paper, then we would reference it. So so that it does not get deleted. Then one more option, Quillbot is there. Everybody of us would be using Quillbot. It is a very well-known. Just for educational purposes, I would be very categorically clear. For educational purposes, what we are going to do is, this is the Quillbot. Everybody of us would be able to use Quillbot Premium. Just QR code is given. Just a minute. I'm not able to. This would be fine. A QR code is given at the top bottom corner. This QR code would lead us to GitHub. What is this GitHub? This GitHub page discusses how we are able to use Quillbot Premium. This is just for educational purposes. I mean, everybody should use this upon their own consent, upon their own will. How we would be able to import this? Just click on the extension part. What we are discussing at present is how we can use Quillbot Premium. So just click on the extension parts. From the extension parts, click on developer mode. This is off, this is on. And from this developer mode, load unpacked extension. And once we would be able to load unpacked expansions, we can directly click on the tool which has been developed by GitHub community to use Quillbot Premium. So we can use Quillbot Premium as well. Just look at this. This is the premium version. Everything is available. Paraphraser, grammar check, AI detector, plagiarism checker. Now, how to use this? I don't think so. We should be discussing. Everybody knows how it is being used. Just a minute. Let me. Then we could discuss Whiteboard. This is again a very important AI tool, Whiteboard. We would click on Whiteboard. What is this Whiteboard? Let us assume we are pasting. We would paste any of the topic which we want, application of nanotechnology for the treatment of neurological disorders, and we would have a go. And it is going to generate so many different prompts, different topics. What we could do is we could use these topics to discuss or to see how we are able to expand our literature review. On what topics we should expand, or what topics we should brood for the literature review. For example, application of nanotechnology for the treatment of neurological disorders. This is why is enhancing therapeutic efficacy important in treating neurological disorders. So this would help us to find out certain texts which would improve the outcome of our review paper. I hope it is visible to all of you. And so this whole chain is developed, and we could even go on increasing the when we would click this, it is again going to have a further processes. So why does cognitive function impact an individual's ability to process information? So all this, I mean, it would give number of topics which we can then select to improve our review process. let me first close all these things. Just a minute. Closing this one. This one. Okay. So this is whiteboard. It would help us to generate so many questions, and it was. Then there is one again to elicit. This elicit.ai. To just see. This is also a well-known tool. And we would just paste our topic and then start finding papers. See, the idea with all these tools is, let us just think that we are going for routine literature review. We are going for routine literature mining for this type of disorders, for this type of topics. Then we would be able to understand that what time it takes for synthesizing good literature review for our paper. But when we are using such tools, then automatically the refinement process, the algorithm is such that we would not be seeing those papers which are not relevant to our work. It is as good as targeted drug delivery for a human being. That the drug reaches the target site and the non-target sites are not exposed to drugs. It's like that only. Then we again have this size space. All these tools are available widely, and all of us might be using. So, I mean, I am not getting into the details of all these things. Then Synapse again is one such tool which helps us to generate summaries for our paper. Just what we need to do is we would just give our topic, and it would help us to generate summaries and generate papers for our topic. We would move forward. Then this is again one more very good tool, dimensions.ai. This we would be discussing in a bit more detail. This dimensions.ai is a free tool available, and it is just let me log in. See, we would just give the we would just search our topic, and we can see that it would give us a list of publication which have been published on our topic, and we are able to sort this as per our requirement. We could sort by relevance, we could sort by publication date, we could sort by citation, we could sort by metric score, etc., etc. And then it also has different tools. I mean, these tools we need to go for the premium version, but this publication part is absolutely free. We are able to generate the whole literature review just with the help of one click. We could now go through each of these article, and if it feels fine, then we could include in our review article, in our introduction part, or any such applications. So at present, what we are discussing is that how we would improve the refinement process, improve the process for actually mining out the data which we want from the already available literature. Then this is Graphy app. Probably everybody of us would have seen the Graphy app. It helps us to generate graphs just from the data. Various graphs are available. It is as good as any of the other software available, but we are able to generate links which we are able to share to other people. Then this is again very good AI tool which I have been using for a lot of time. Citation Finder. We would just see this Citation Finder. Let us assume there is a sentence in English which says that necessity is the mother of invention, not just research. Necessity is the mother of invention. So when I was doing my paperwork some years back, not just some years, is around 2016, 17, and I had some of the references which I could see that they are helpful. Every time I need to go to Google Scholar, find out that reference, and from that reference, I had to download the BibTeX file for each of these reference, because the references which I had were not sufficient enough so that they could be incorporated into directly into this reference managers, and therefore I was able to get this tool. Now, what does this tool says? What does this tool does? Let us assume I have some of the references. These are full references, but we would just copy paste these references in the citation finder part and then search. What this would do is, let us assume you have a word copy of that paper in which you have some good references. Now you want to select out 10, 15 references from that word paper. Every time you need not to go to Google Scholar to find out the actual full reference with all the details, with all the metadata. Just take that reference and enter here, and it is going to find out suitable BibTeX file. It is going to find out the correct reference for the given reference and allow us to download the BibTeX file. This BibTeX file we are able to directly import in our reference manager. So let us assume if you are 100 references, such 100 such references, and which are not full in nature, which for which we do not have any BibTeX, then this tool can help us to do the same within less than 10 minutes, which by manual scavenging, it would have taken at least 4 or 5 days. This would help us to complete the work within just 10 days. Paraphraser IO, this is also a well-known tool available, but we are not discussing this. Everybody of us would be able to understand that. Again, chat PDF. What is this chat PDF? As the name suggests, we are able to chat with PDF. We would just drop down a PDF. Let us import one of my paper which has already been published. This is one of the paper which would get which has been already published. We would allow this paper, and then we can directly see the it would generate insights directly from the paper. This is the paper, and would directly generate the insight from the paper, and then we are able to ask questions as well. What are the advantages in which field? This. So, how is this useful? Let us assume we have some papers which we want that we should read the whole paper, but we don't have that much time to go through all the part. For example, there is a paper in which we are interested only in the methodology part. So we could upload this paper and ask about methodology. We need not to go through the whole paper to find out where the methodology is, and then also we are able to find out exact part from this chat PDF. Then we have PDF gear. Again, this is very important. Just a minute. I hope you would be able to take a snapshot of this. There is some mark over there. This is PDF gear. The advantage with this PDF gear is that we are able to use it offline. I mean, it has to be downloaded onto the desktop, and then we could use it. For example, we will go to the demo folder, and we would open this again, this paper. This is PDF gear. Complementary is it allows all these edits. We are able to insert pages, we are able to delete pages, we are able to summarize things, etc., etc. Just click over this, and it would help us to summarize. I mean, various options are available which will help us to summarize what has been written in this. Just click on the tools, and it would help us to understand and summarize the whole paper. It is as good as chat PDF, but this works on desktop PC. I mean, we don't have to go to web page every time. From the PDF itself, we are able to work. This is PDF gear. Slides here is used for preparing presentations. We are not going to discuss in detail. That is fine. Then paper pull, again, this is very good. Paper pull. This would be this is a well-known tool which we are able to use it. How we are going to use this paper pull? If we could install a word ID, or we could install, or we could directly write onto the web page, and we would just write down, let us new web document. We would click on the new web document. This is the freeware that is already available. And then we would just write what we want for what we have to use. And see, all these options are available here: edit, rewrite, write, research site, translate, templates, checks, upgrade, etc., etc. As per our requirement, we are able to use these tools so that the writing becomes easier. See what this was one of the, I was just, to take a snapshot, I was just writing it, and we can see for the same topic, it has generated some summary here. See what is the beauty of this AI application is that for non-English speakers, for those authors where English is not their native language, uh, the limitation is not in their research work or in their writing, but the limitation is the language in which we have to communicate for publication. With the help of this AI, what has been done is now there is no such linguistic limitation. I could write with any grammatical mistake. I could write with any syntax error. Just go to any of the AI application and write down, please improve syntax and grammar for this. Act as an expert in this, and your task is to improve syntax and grammar for the following paragraph. And it would improve the syntax and grammar, remove all the mistakes. For the same, I can remember a couple of probably 4 5 not couple of years back, probably 5 years back, 4 5 years back, I was publishing one paper in a very reputed journal, and the editors gave me a comment that you need to improve the syntax and grammar of this paper by going to language editing services. We consulted the other authors, and we went to a language, the person who was a professional in editing language services, and the charge we gave was 25 rupees per page. The paper was of 40 pages. And what he told that it would take 25 rupees per page to improve the language for that paper. Now just think that now we don't have to pay a single rupee, and then also we are able to have better language editing services as compared to human beings, faster, better, with more accurate results, and with very ease as well. Apart from this, we could also see that, it has been propagated that these AI tools, the generative AI tools, they are fed open source data. They are not trained on copyrighted data. They are trained on open source data. The general propagation is this, but however, when you would see in the internet, you would see that they are also, I'm not verifying, I am not vouching for the veracity of the data, but it could be seen that these AI tools are also trained on copyrighted data. So what does this say? That a researcher has access to copyrighted data only by using AI. Let us assume we do not have access to some of the very good publishers such as Elsevier, Springer, Nature, Willy, etc., etc. We don't have access, but we have access to AI tools, and these AI tools have been fed on this copyrighted data. So by default, we now have access to copyrighted data. Then we would be discussing lit map. Again, this is very good. Let me first close all these things. This is lit map. We would just give our DOI. Let us assume we are just giving one of the DOI from the references part. This is, we would just select one DOI and insert that in DOI. And then this is going to find out the articles which are related to this reference and allow us to build a whole map that how we are able to build up our library. See, less than 10 seconds now, and we have been able to find out more than 50 articles which are related to our work. I hope I'm able to propagate this part that just by simple tool. See, this dark part is our paper, and these are the papers which are related to our paper of interest. We would just click on this, and we have the whole abstract. That's it. See, just to have this much of literature review, traditionally, conventionally, without the use of AI, it would have taken at least 2 to 3 days to have this many articles. Again, I would reiterate the fact this does not mean that we would directly copy paste this into our paper. No, it does not work like that. One of the disadvantage with generative AI is it would always give outputs which we think they are having authority in their work. But it is not so. Why it is not so? Because they are already in the market. The chatbot just generates as per our requirement. We need to verify it before including in our work. Very recently, the publishing authorities have said that these AI chatbots cannot be used or cannot be recommended or cannot be incorporated as authors. Why? Because they do not have any responsibility. For example, I generate something, and if it is not of good use, it is not correct, it is not authentic, then we cannot blame the AI. It is the person who has to be blamed because the prompt was not clear, the prompt was vague, the author had not supervised it. So not a single letter, not a single word which has been taken from generative AI should be kept as it is in the paper. It has to be under human supervision. Then and then only we can use AI. So for example, we have so many articles, we could just click on any of the article and then we could see, is it useful to us? If it is useful to us, then we can carry forward. If it is not useful to us, then we could leave it and move on to another article. Litmus again is free service. So it should not be that we are able to just use it once. Then Research Rabbit, again, it is an important free tool available in the market. Researchrabbit.ai. Again, this is free. We would just enter our topic, enter our DOI, and it is able to again create a whole network of our papers. For example, I was just surfing by selecting this paper, and then we can see if you would just click similar papers, then there are 508 similar papers for the text which has been mentioned in that paper. Select this. There are whole blocks, and we could just click off the one of the block and then see, is it important for us? If yes, then we could take it forward. Again, all these tools, we should not get overwhelmed by the tools. It is not that we want to explore these tools. The main idea is we want to write a paper, and in writing this paper, we are exploring these tools. Otherwise, if we would get into that groove that we want to explore various tools, then at present, the AI revolution is going at such scale and such speed that every now and then we would be able to get so many good tools that it would just blow our mind. But in exploring such tools, there are chances that we might miss on how to write a paper. So any of the tool, if we would feel fine, then we could use that tool in our writing. We are not getting into the extreme details for each of these tools, but because every time it depends upon the author and what requirements are there. I would like to just have a glimpse that we could use such tools. Then this is academizer. It would turn informal into academic. Let us do one thing. We would just this rightful. The rightful, I mean, so many applications are available for this rightful. It is also useful to correct our prompt. Let us assume we would discuss in let us discuss that in further slides. We will see that. Just take one of the text. We would just select one of the text like this, paste it over here, and we would just click on academize. Since this is already from a given paper, not much would be there to, I mean, correct. But we could write anything. We could write anything, and it would convert into a proper academic text. Let us reduce the text. These are the various drafts which have been generated. One more thing, let us first, just a minute. Just a minute. Some of the stop. For the participants, by mistake, they are annotating something. Need to stop it. Fine. Just a minute. Okay, shall we start?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please share your screen.
Just a minute. I am not able to unmute my video.
Okay, just 1 second.
Share screen. Just a minute.
Yeah. So 1 second.
I regret for this, but so many annotations were there on the screen. I was getting distracted.
So now you can start your video, I think. Just try.
Yes, I'm going to start my video. Let me share my screen. Okay.
I request all the participants, please do not annotate anything in the screen. Otherwise, it is disturbing for all.
So probably what could be the reason is that they would be trying to record something and by mistake they are annotating it. So even the participants would not be aware that they are doing this.
Okay, that might be.
Sir, I'm not able to. Yes, now I'm able to share. Fine. Sharing the entire screen. Share. Is it visible to the participants?
Yes, sir, I can see.
So then rightful is again such academizer from rightful is again such a tool which helps us to convert our informal writing into academic writing. For those, for example, I am a non-native English writer. Whenever I would write English, it takes a lot of time to make the language professional. I mean, what words we can use, what words we should not use, what is the syntax, what is the grammar, the flow, the tense, etc., etc. With the help of these AI tools, we are able to correct it within just a couple of seconds. We will get to the Then we have academic GPT. Again, this is very useful. Just drop our research paper on this, click on this research papers we are doing. We would just upload this. And now we want that we would have to, we would require a summary of this and then submit. It is asking for this, let me just sign in. So the idea is we should not get overwhelmed by the tools available. It is better that we would use it for our use instead of getting overwhelmed. At times, if this takes time, then the feedback is also sent to our email ID from this email ID. Let us just wait. It would give the summary of the whole paper. So let us assume we have a whole set of papers which we need to understand one by one. Instead of reading the whole paper, we could upload that paper and find out the summary. One more thing which I would like to touch upon is that most of us would always think that there is some inherent bias while using AI, that if we would tilt towards a particular subject on one side, then we might not be able to remain neutral. We would be going on tilting towards that side. That is a truth, that if we are biased, then AI would be taking us towards more biased nature. AI would be aggravating that biasness. However, coming back to the original part, if we are biased, ultimately we would be biased in the conventional literature review as well. We, by nature, if we are biased, then by conventional literature review also we are going to be biased. But if we are neutral, then AI would also remain neutral. So, for example, now this academic GPT has generated the summary. What we could do is, if we are writing a review article, just write down Shah et al. Reviewed this topic and provided an in-depth review of biogenic nanoparticles, emphasizing their eco-friendly synthesis, biocompatibility, and versatile applications in biomedical fields, and so on and so forth. Just by using 25-30 such papers, we would be able to generate an excellent introduction for a review article. Just think that you are referring to a review article and we are able to have such 30-40 papers in one review article which has been reviewed this way. By traditional method, I have done through traditional method as well. Just to have an idea, I was able to publish more than 6 to 8 reviews in couple of years with the help of utilizing such tools. Why? Every faculty is short of time. Every professional who is not into publication part is short of time. If we are able to use such tools, then in the time available, we would be able to improve our writing skill. We would be able to remove that writer's block. That writer's block again is very, very significant. There is a sentence in English which says that good should never be the enemy of excellent. We would have seen this many times. We want to write something, but what we think is that whenever we would write some very good thing. I mean, the output has to be very good. Now, to give that good output, whatever has been written, we don't write haphazardly. We want that we should write good, and in that pursuit, we would never write it. So these AI applications would help us to remove that writer's block. Right, whatever you feel, right, whatever language you feel, whatever mistakes can be done, do it. We would do it. Write that, upload it to a good AI application, and it would convert that into suitable for including in our manuscript. And this way we are able to remove that writer's block. Coming back to the original presentation. Then Right Sonic, before ChatGPT was so much famous, before it was all over the world, Right Sonic allowed synthesis of the topic. And I just to I mean I would not boast of myself. I was using this Right Sonic. I just gave them one topic that please review me the use of curcumin in this is, and just by 4 to 5 clicks they were this Right Sonic was able to the Right Sonic was able to generate a whole review within less than 5 minutes, which says that this is also good tool. However, what is the disadvantage is that it would give us some words. For example, it would give us 1,000 to 1,500 words with the best quality. Then for that email ID, the credits are exhausted. We then need to go for a new email ID. The 10-minute email ID here does not work somehow. And so we have to give correct email IDs. And so it takes a lot of time to generate email IDs repetitively to use Right Sonic after 1,500 words get expired. And we have better versions available, but this is also very good. Then we have Prezzo to prepare presentations. We are not going into details of this. This Prezzo AI is very good tool to prepare presentations. Engage Digitizer. Again, this is a very good tool. I would like to get into details of this. What is this Engage Digitizer? Every now and then in pharmaceutical research, we have to do experiments. And just to see that whatever the peer work has been done, we are matching that peer work. We might have to compare our results with their results. For example, in pharmaceutics, for pharmaceutics, we have one criteria of F1, F2 dissolution characteristics, that whenever those formulations are similar, we need to find out F1 and F2. Now, to compare these F1 and F2 values, we need to compare the exact dissolution time point data. I mean, when we were doing, for my students, when we were doing such research work, and when it came for the comparison, the students had the graph in the research paper. Sir, I have this graph. Now, but how I would be able to compare the data which we have received with this graph? So for this, Engage Digitizer is one such tool. What we would do is we would just open Engage Digitizer. We would open Engage Digitizer and see how this works. File, import. I had taken one graph for demonstration. This is one graph from the journal. It would give some instructions. Since I have already gone through this, we would just quickly move on to this. This would give us the whole graph. We could see there are some instructions written here. The first is at first 3 of the axis points. So what we would do is we would first give 3 of the axis points. This is coordinate 0 and 0. X is 0, Y is 0. On this coordinate, X is 0, Y is 100. And on this coordinate, X is 50 and Y is 0. That's it. So now we have given the coordinates. Now what we are going to do is we would give them the time points. So this is the first time point. This is second time point. This is third time point. This is fourth, fifth, and sixth. Now we have given them the time points. That's it. File, export, Excel sheet. This is yesterday I was just doing it. Now we can see, just open the demo folder, and this is, see, now we have the time points for 5 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours, 20 hours, 30 hours, and 45 hours or 50 hours. That is, we have the drug release points. We would now just compare our points, our drug release points with this drug release points. This stands true for almost all of the graphs, not just this graph. It could take logarithmic graphs, it would take semi-logarithmic graphs, etc., etc. And this Engage Digitizer again is available on GitHub. It is a very good tool. Apart from this, whenever we are, I have not included that in the presentation, but whenever we are publishing some articles and we would have some graphs, by default, the graphs that are generated from the software, they are not of 300 dpi resolution. To get to this 300 dpi resolution again is a very difficult task. Why? Because the softwares which would generate this graph, they are very, they are not of 300 dpi. At times they are of 300 dpi, at times they are not of 300 dpi. So what could be done is we could use Daniel's Excel toolbox. This Daniel's Excel toolbox helps us to convert any graph into a higher resolution graph, which are acceptable then by publication in publication process. Again, this is a very good tool, Diagram GPT, very good tool. We would just discuss, we would just see how this Diagram GPT works. Let us assume we are writing, see all this, as I previously said, the necessity is the mother of all inventions. We were communicating papers, and a lot of the times, what we saw that for a routine synthesis process, for a routine process, the words which we need to use were of the same type. And therefore, even though we had to use words, they were detected as plagiarized text. Now we don't have that much scope that we would change the words for that paragraph, because almost all of these words, I mean, we had to use it. So what we could do is we could use a diagram to represent our process, and this diagram would help us to amplify the work which we have done, and would also help us to reduce the plagiarism. We would just discuss this. This is one paper in which there is a process. Now, what is this process? Preparation of this liposomal lytic mycobacteriophages. We would just click on this process and insert this snippet here. That's it. And generate diagram. If the process is appropriate, then it is going to generate a very good flow chart. We are able to edit this flow chart as per requirement. Just click on this save and edit diagram. It would get to the actual website. And then we are able to edit each of this, how this would look, how if this is oval shape, when we can change this oval shape, if this square shape, we can change this square shape, we could add, remove diagram, etc., etc. And if you feel that this is fair enough, just click it and it is saved as an image, and we would paste it here. Again, this would help us to improve the aesthetics of our paper. One paper which we just wrote in pharmaceutical nanotechnology. There is a process where we had found a very good references that how phosphatidylcholine would improve the solubility and improve the permeability of a pharmacognostic molecule, of a herbal molecule, a phytomolecule. And we used this diagram GPT to visually present it in the paper, that how and what are the steps that a phosphatidylcholine molecule would improve the permeation of that drug. And it looks very aesthetic. So diagram GPT is again such a tool which helps us to draw diagrams. Then mirror think AI. Again, this is a very good tool. I was yesterday told that we would break for 5 minutes for bio break. I am sure, Samresh sir, we could take a break for 5 minutes or 2 minutes as discussed yesterday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can go for at least 5 minute break so that
we can continue afterwards. If it is
yes,
fine.
yes. So all the audience, please, we'll having a break for 5 minute bio break. So after 5 minutes, we will start. So the time is now 11:16. By 11:21, we'll restart the session. So welcome back. So we'll again resume our session. Dr. Sani sir, Please you can restart.
Is the screen visible or I need to share it once again?
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
It is visible.
Yes,
So
yes,
we had
yes.
stopped at mirror thing. Again, this we are able to see the mirror thing slide. Is the screen visible? Okay. We can see here, we would just paste our title and just send. And again, it would give us an idea that what are the papers that have been published on this. And again, it would generate a summary. And this helps us to understand that what topics are there which we could use to include in our work. If there is something which we are missing, then we will be able to find out that what we are missing and we could again start. Then this is Excel formalizer. It we are not going to discuss in detail, but this Excel formalizer, whenever we are going to write something, it would have some data which has to be statistically evaluated. In this Excel formalizer, what we could do is we could just write down the statement, and once the statement is written, if it is written in an appropriate manner, it would give us the whole formula which has to be used to identify such test. The same is with bot sheet, but we are not getting into details of this. Semantic Scholar again is a very good tool. Just click on the search button and it helps us to identify. See, we can see here the application of nanotechnology for the treatment of neurological disorders. Whatever the output is there, it is not at all relevant. It is not at all relevant. So at times this AI again would not give the correct results. At times it would give correct results. Let us paste a DOI and then see what happens. Just a minute. Hmm. See, this is, it is not working that great, but this is also a good tool by which we can use. Again, this gives us an idea that every time we should not use AI without any supervision. Otherwise, it might not give correct results. And OpenRate again is a very good tool. See, all these tools, again, I would reiterate the same thing. Don't just get overwhelmed by the tools. These tools are available, they are used everywhere. We would use it as per our requirement. We would just search use of AI in publication. And it would give us a summary. See, this all articles are there. What we could do is we could one by one select these articles, read it, and if it's useful, then we could include in our further sites. Again, this answer by OAT is their synthesizer. It would synthesize and give us a summary, but that's fine. I am sure the as per our requirements, we would use it as per our requirements and challenges which we discover while writing the process. Again, this is literature.com, a wonderful tool specifically designed for literature analysis on PubMed. We would take a couple of minutes to see what is this literature.com. Just click on generate an analysis. Still, this is volatile in nature. Sometimes this works, sometimes this does not work. But when it works, it is wonderful. We would just paste the question here. The question is this: application of nanotechnology for treatment of neurological disorders. And we would now generate, all these options are there. We would generate critical literature review. I agree to the terms and then click submit and then wait for a couple of periods. And then it would give us it would help us to generate a summary from the literature review that is exclusively available on PubMed only. The citations are there only from PubMed only. So that helps to be very authentic in nature. But I have seen, I was using this and I have seen that at times this also generates citations from PubMed, but it does not, it is not able to map the correct citations. What is this TLDR? On social media, this TLDR is very famous. What is this TLDR? Too long, didn't read. Too long, didn't read. What is this TLDR? If there is a very big summary and we don't have that much time, then we could just copy that summary, give the AI that prompt, TLDR this, and give that paragraph. It would convert the whole paragraph into 25% of that paragraph, and we would be able to read it and then have an idea of the synopsis. That if I want to know this thing, then only I should read the full paragraph. Otherwise, it's fine. So what is this? This would give us the TLDR. Now just think that while writing a review paper or a research paper, the introduction section is written with this, that nanotechnology shows significant promise in the treatment of neurological disorders by this. And have an idea that if I had to write this, then it would have taken a lot of time to select these words, to select that words, to arrange the sentences, to review this paper, to review that paper. With the help of this literature.com, we are able to do this very, very easily. Then evidence and analysis, all these references are there, and the references are listed here, and all the PubMed IDs are listed here. Again, I mean, to synthesize this much, if we would go by traditional method, it takes a lot of time. But again, I would reiterate, this is not without human supervision. We just don't copy and paste and write it in paper. No, it doesn't happen like that. We have to go to reference number 1. We would read the reference number 1 and match it. Is it there? If yes, then we would use it. Then GPT kit, you would have seen. Just click on this GPT kit. Go there. Let us check. We would take this paragraph, Control C, and then see, is it AI generated? Probably I have used let's see. It would see, is it AI generated or not? Yes, it is likely that the text above was generated by AI. So then what we could do is, we need to read this text and write it in our own words. Now, there are various tools by which the AI generated text would look like humanized text. But as an author, I usually refrain from those activities. It is not just that because this is a platform, I would not accept it. But because I really don't do it, what I do is, we would read this paragraph, try to understand it, write it in our own words, and then correct the mistakes by an AI tool. And therefore, it is drastically going to reduce the AI generated text. The GPT kit is used to detect AI. One more such kit, the stealthwriter.ai, we would be discussing in future slides. This is consensus.ai. Again, it is a synthesizer. Ask the question. And search. This helps us to synthesize and to co-pilot. If I would click synthesize, then it would compile all these articles. It would compile all these articles and give me a summary. Co-pilot also, it would give me a summary. And see this again, this would fasten our literature review process. But that does not mean that we don't read all these articles. The conventional reading has no option. We have to read it. This is Research Buddy. Again, we would take one example for Research Buddy. See, again, this is not a permanent empty credit. We would be able to use it for some time, and again it gets regenerated, and again we would be able to use it. See, this word hallucination. What is hallucination? That whenever we would be asking AI something, AI would be generating summary for it, and AI would be giving out the output for it. At times, this output might not be correct. In fact, I would like to share one of my experience for people who it would be very to a very limited participants. Uh, for those who are working in pharmaceutics, we have one word for BCS classification. BCS class 1, 2, 3, 4. Class 1 says it's high soluble, high permeable. And for those drugs which are high soluble, high permeable, we need not to improve solubility. At time, I was just was evaluating how the chat GPT behaves. And in one of the output, chat GPT gave the output that it is very important to improve the resolution for BCS class 1 drugs for proper bioavailability. Now, that is factually wrong. We need not to improve the bioavailability, the solubility to improve the bioavailability for BCS class 1 drugs. It is factually wrong. But then also it was generated in the output. So every time it would generate, it is taking some time, but it is going to this. See, this is the whole output it has given. Just by one click, we are able to generate the whole introduction part for a review article, which I suppose just a couple of years back, an author would procrastinate writing a review paper just to write down the introduction part. The author would procrastinate it. But having said so, each of these we need to evaluate it point by point, sentence by sentence, understand it, and then only write it. Otherwise, it's as I said, as I just discussed, in our paper, we might write down that for BCS class 1 drugs, we need to improve the solubility to improve permeability, which is factually not correct. Again, this research buddy is a very good tool. Stealthwriter.ai. At present, this stealthwriter.ai does not allow the full version. A couple of probably a year or a couple of years back, this stealthwriter was. We would paste the text which we have prepared. Let us this text. And then see, is it written by check for AI? Check for AI. And it is going to check for AI. The text is likely to be written by AI. We would just click on humanize. Now there are various methods by which it checks that it is humanized or not. Now we would take this paragraph and go to table. I want to table to just click on GPT kit we just saw. We are also going to discuss Zero GPT, again a very important tool. Click here and check for AI. And it says it is written by human. See, the same paragraph, couple of slides back, it was written by AI. The same paragraph now, it is written by human. So, see, what the idea should be and what we should follow is, we would see what is AI generated content. We would see after going through the process, how this AI generated content has been converted to humanized content, what changes has been done, and we would try that whatever AI generated content is there, we would by ourselves convert this AI generated content to humanized content. At times, it is not possible for us to find out difference. Then what we could do is, we would prepare a prompt. We are discussing that in further slides at how to craft a prompt. We would write down that AI generated content, and we would write down that humanized content by a AI tool itself, and then we would see that we would write down in the prompt that this is AI generated, this is humanized content. Please, what are the differences in writing that is there, and that AI tool would give us the differences in the writing pattern for both of these. We would understand the writing difference, and then we are able to convert AI generated text to humanized text. There are two terms, perplexity score and burstiness score. Everybody of us would have heard those, perplexity and burstiness. This perplexity and burstiness, whenever a human being writes something, while writing itself, that human being has so many thoughts running inside the mind. So the length of the sentences, the choice of words, etc., are not uniform everywhere. But for AI, it is uniform. That if it gives a sentence length of 10 words, approximately the length of the sentence would be 10 words throughout. Human beings, it is not like that. So for a genuinely humanized content, the perplexity score and the burstiness score is quite high. What we could do is, we could at our convenient time, we could write down some paragraphs. Just write down some paragraphs of any topic, not pharma topic, any topic, not menus publication topic, any topic. Write down some sentences and ask a good tool that what could be the perplexity and bustiness score for this. Next day again write down something. Next day again write down something. After a couple of days, 4 5 days, you would be having an idea that whenever I write down something, the perplexity score is this, the bustiness score is this. Now, next time when you write down something, ask that AI tool to generate content which has this perplexity and bustiness scores. So it would help us to reduce the AI content and convert that to a more humanized content. A better idea is, AI has, after November 2022, the advent of AI was there. Before November 2022, we were writing on our own itself. Take out some paragraphs from your previous publication, fed it to an AI tool, and then ask, here, what is my writing style? And AI would help us to generate a writing style. Next time when you write something, ask AI to convert whatever we have written into this writing style, and it would help us to convert AI content to humanized content. Having said so, again, I would reiterate that never ever get into that groove, just directly copy pasting from AI applications. It is never useful. Coming back to again this stealthwriter.ai is a powerful tool. Now it is, I mean, the free credits are reduced. Otherwise, when it was launched, I mean, it was absolute wonder. Zero GPT. This Zero GPT again is a very good tool. It would detect the text. Let us see. This is the text which we had. humanized with the help of stealth writer, and you would detect text. And it says it is entirely written by human. We would now paste it with the original text which we had used without stealth writer, and it says 100% GPT. So this is working fine. I mean, it's not, I have used it so many times. Whenever we are writing something, this zero GPT would help us to detect what is AI generated. It's not there only. At times, you would see that whatever is written by you might also be flagged as AI generated because we might have used some tools to uh, improve grammar and syntax. So again, the researcher, the writer should not feel that whatever is AI flagged, whatever is AI generated is absolutely true. It might be wrong. The GPT might be incorrect, but most of the times it is not incorrect. If it says it is AI generated, then we need to work on it. Why we need to work on it? As soon as the paper is submitted to the editorial board, to the editorial office, it first goes through screening. And if a lot of thing is generated by AI, then it would be rejected at that part only. So it should never be the case that whatever we write down, it is directly copy pasted. It is not going to help. We are fastening the process. We are not replacing the process. As we have discussed earlier, the gravitational force, we are increasing the gravitational force. We are not replacing the gravitational force. So again, AI tools could help us. They are not going to replace the human intervention. This zero GPT, it offers lot many words complementarily. Again, a wonderful tool. GPT-0 is also the same. Once we get exhausted by zero GPT, we would now go to GPT-0. Till now, what we have discussed is all the tools which we could use. We would be discussing 4 or 5 sources where we would be able to find out various tools. For example, this Flow GPT. This Flow GPT is a search engine where we are able to find out a suitable GPT for us, which could help us. For example, let us just click on GPT for Excel formula. Click on this, and it would give us a list of AI tools that is available for Excel formulas. It is taking some time. See, all these are the tools available which would help us to create Excel formulas from text. And there are so many tools we can find. The idea is if we want an AI tool for something, then this Flow GPT would help us to have prompts as well. I mean, it could generate prompts for us for the exact thing which you want to find out. Then there is AI search. There is a website called there is an AI for that.com. You name it and it has that AI tool. For example, we want an AI tool to reduce plagiarism. It would search all these plagiarism detectors and help us to decrease plagiarism, to help us to find out what text has been plagiarized. I have gone through lot many such things, and one thing which I can conclude is for plagiarism. Even I had talked with the coordinator as well for this. The free tools which are available to detect plagiarism are not that satisfactory. So what I personally do is once I would prepare a paper, I would make sure that it is not, I mean, directly copy pasted from AI. We would go through that paper a couple of times and then submit a paper to a publisher whose primary mechanism is to check for plagiarism, for similarity index. If that publisher rejects the paper just by saying that there is too much similar text, then also it's fine. But now we have an idea that if you have access to the authenticate software, then it's fine, it's very good. But if we do not have access to authenticate software or any such softwares, then we could submit it to a publisher. The publisher would flag that this part is having high similarity index from this resources. Now we could work on this paper and submit to a suitable journal, which would help us to have a better strike rate in publications. Then AI Valley is again one such website where we are able to find out various suitable prompts and AI tools. We are not getting into the details of this. I want to come to the prompt part. We would be discussing the prompts as well. Then AI super user tools. Again, it is such a very well-known website wherein we are able to find out different tools. I would request the user, if it's possible, to find out the text from this. If it's possible, you could just write down in the chat box that you are able to extract text from this. Okay, great. I can see our person has said yes. Okay. So this text, what we would do is I would now go to Chat GPT. Let me first click on Chat GPT. And the text extracted from this. Again, I would be going back. This is a bit more. Please extract the text available in this QR code and click on this customize GPT, and you would see this text has to be pasted on how I would like Chat GPT to respond. Now just write anything. Let us take one this. Yeah. Fine. Whenever we are using such tools, any such tools, we should try and uh, refine the prompt as much as possible. This is just for the demonstration purpose. However, when we are refining the prompt, make sure the prompt is very specific. We would see a couple of examples for this. The prompt has to be very specific. The more specific the prompt, the more specific the answer would be there. The more general the prompt, the more general the answer would be there. I have seen so many students complaining to me that ChatGPT, every time it gives the same results. There is no variation in the results. The variation in the result is not because ChatGPT does not have variation. Because the prompts are not variated, the results are not having any variations. What I wanted to see now the prompt which I have given, you can see it first discusses what it has to give the output. The inner monologue is there, then some of the thoughts are there, and then it starts answer. See, it should have the Chat GPT thinks of intuition, it thinks of wisdom, analysis, novel idea, insight, and a complimentary note is given, and then it generates the output like this. See, this is the output. Now, what we could do is we could select this topic and write down something for this topic into whiteboard, which we had seen earlier. From whiteboard, we would be getting certain prompts, certain outputs, and using these outputs, we could generate a whole content, which we can include in our manuscript after proper supervision. For example, let us just we would now stick to liposomes. Chalo, fine. Now, so every time if we have to use this prompt every time, we would incorporate this into our customized GPT part. When we would use in our customized GPT, every time the GPT would respond using this. For other such AI platforms such as Perplexity or Cloud or this Copilot, etc., we could use every time below the prompt. Write down the whole prompt, and when that prompt is over, below that text of that prompt, insert this text, and it would refine the output. Then this is a prompt for prompt refinement. Again, the users are requested to click to find out the text in this prompt for prompt refinement, and we would see how it works. We just get to the prompts part. These are some of the prompts which we would see this one by one. This is prompt refinement. This is a prompt for prompt refinement. Again, I am not sure every time this is going to work the same, but we would try and improve this every time. See, this is the prompt for prompt refinement. I would request the users to extract out the prompt from this and try it by themselves at present itself. See, this is this prompt I had given, but and it says like this. Now this is not useful to us. Why it is not useful to us? Because I wanted that I need to craft a prompt. So I would just say and now it would ask me for the prompt. See, all these are some specific components which we can use to refine our prompt. Prompt engineering, prompt refinement is very, very important that whenever we are crafting a prompt, we should be able to get into the most intricate details. I would be discussing one for, again, we would discuss this. Please, if the user can extract text from this QR code, then it would generate tabular data. Just scan this QR code and we would be able to extract the data. First, I put that in. Now it should ask me about some of the statistics. Please provide the title. What would be the title? Application of liposomes in treatment of Alzheimer and Huntington disease. Pardon me for the spelling mistake. Column 1, name of drug. Column 2, therapeutic category of drug. Column 4, excipient used in operation. Just a minute. There with I could have written this but I wanted that the process also to be very clear. Outcome of the study. Right. Now in this in this prompt we have discussed, we have written that ensure the accuracy of data and include sources for verification. So it is not that it is going to randomly generate data and then write. And now it would see it is going to scavenge the whole web for this. You can see here. Now, that does not mean that we would do away with the normal literature review, but now we have a starting point if for which we can start. And one of the advantage of cloud AI over chat GPT is, or advantage of Gemini over chat GPT is that they are able to connect internet in real time. So let us discuss cloud AI as well. We're discussing. It is already 12 o'clock. We would finish it within 5 minutes and some question answers. I pardon for being late. Just copy this prompt here. The advantage with Gemini is that whatever the data we are getting, we would be able to directly extract it into Google Sheets, which would help us to go to directly from a table. See, with just few clicks, we now know the drug, the excipients used in that formulation, the outcome of the study, and references. Now, it doesn't mean that this is correct every time, but now we have an idea that we could prepare table in such a way. We could now take this reference and then, if it is fine, we would incorporate after reading it and thoroughly going through that formulation. But just assume that if we had to prepare it by ourselves, then it would have taken more time as compared to this. Again, this is a very good prompt answer to reviewer. The users could screen, users could find out the text from the QR code. Whenever we are writing a paper for a reviewer, for getting it published, the reviewer would give some comments. Now, to address those comments, uh, every time it is difficult to write down everything, this, that. What we could do is we could take these comments and answer it appropriately so that we are able to improve the manuscript in that manner. And the answers would be written in a very professional way. So the reviewer understands that on this line and this line, the author has changed these things. So next time the reviewer does not have to go through the whole manuscript, it would just highlight that part. Again, this is a prompt to humanize the AI output. The users could screen out all these prompts, apart from the first prompt, the original prompt. All these prompts have been crafted for my specific use. Apart from the first prompt I was able to find out from internet, but it drastically improves my output. This is text mining. Again, this is a very good prompt for text mining. Let us discuss this in a bit more detail. Because this is the last prompt, and then we would stop. So I have stored this text mining prompt, but that is fine. This is the text mining prompt. The users can use this as well. I would like to conclude by saying AI won't replace you, but someone empowered by AI would definitely replace the person who is not using AI. Thank you for your patient listening. I would request the organizers would take the session feedback on their end, but I would request the participants to please provide the feedback by scanning this QR code so that in further such lectures, I could incorporate those things which I have not been able to incorporate here. And whatever the AI tools they are using, whatever the suggestions they have for this, please share me on this feedback. You could just scan this QR code and please share your feedback for the session, specifically for this session. I am again thankful to the organizers for providing me the platform to share my views, share my experience on using AI tools for improved publication writing. At last, I would reiterate finally that without human intervention, AI is not useful. Whatever generations have been done through AI, please go through their generations. Whatever the output is there, go through that output, look at that. Is it authentic enough? Are we able to replicate it? Are we able to find out a suitable source for that? Only and only after that we should be able to incorporate that in our publication process. Otherwise, using AI without human intervention ultimately would not be helpful. Again, not just helpful, it might also decrease our reputation. Thank you very much. If you have anything, please write down to this email ID. And if you want to uh, communicate it, please, the communication is given. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I am done.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you a lot. It's really a wonderful session. You have told about many tools. As I have listed, it is more than 40. So starting with 10-minute mail, u.com, Wison, Trinka, Quillbot, Ybot, Elicit, means the list is never ending. So really, I can understand that to demonstrate each and every tools is not possible in a single 2 hour session. But still, what I liked about like Ybot, like Diagram GPT, Research Buddy, Stealth Writer. So this is a few tools I'm
Sir,
really
sir, just a minute. Just a minute. I just forgot to include in the end. Mermaid tool is there. Let me just show the beauty of this mermaid tool. Just a minute, sir. Just 2 minutes.
okay, okay, sir,
To,
no issue. Yes, yes, yes.
for the icons, and this is I was able to generate by mermaid tool. A single prompt is there. With the help of this single prompt, I was able to generate this diagram on mermaid. That whenever we want to write a review article, preparing a review manuscript, these are the various tools: framing the research question, designing the review protocol, conducting the comprehensive literature search, drug extraction and management, assessment and inclusion of studies, organizing, synthesizing evidence, drafting the manuscript, revising, editing, submission to a journal, and responding to reviewer comments and finalizing our publication. And for each of these are the significant parameters which need to be studied. Identify the topic of interest, inclusion exclusion criteria, strategy, register a new protocol, etc., etc. And what is this? I mean, if you could just, I can just go to Chat GPT. There are some GPTs available which we can explore, even though the rate is limited. But these are the various GPTs which we can explore. For example, I would just click here Mermaid, and it would get me to the Mermaid uh, GPT, which is specifically designed to prepare such charts. Now, whenever we want to draw a graphical abstract, which nowadays journal mandates it, this mermaid charts could be very useful in preparing such graphical charts, graphical diagrams. We need to find out the knack of suitable prompting, but again, this is very good. I regret I had to interrupt you. but I wanted to share this. Thank you very much, sir.
Oh, sir, it's really is a gold mine. I think the participants who are presented over here, they have received a lots of tools and AI tools which can use to unify or to simplify their publishing of their research or review work. So really, it's a gold mine for me as I can understand. So now it is a question answer session. We can take a couple of questions from the audience. If any audience is ask you some question, you can just raise your hand. Then I will unmute your mic so you can unmute and you can ask questions. Audience, you can please raise your hand for any questions. Okay, I can see Ashwini Mishra. So I just want to unmute Dr. Ashwini. Please, you can unmute and you can ask question.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, loud and clear.
Sir, thank you very much for such a nice informative session. I hope my journey of writing review and research will definitely enriched with such tools. The question I have is as we normally move with writing papers and citation and referencing and all, nowadays various tools are available for that thing. Could you please tell me any tool which is actually there to make the teaching interactively? Because being a teacher, sometimes I feel that there though some online tools are there, but if you have to make the class more interactive, is there any tool which is available for that?
Thank you, sir, for your question. Probably it would be beyond the scope of current discussion because the current discussion was regarding publication. But then also, just to as a teacher also, how I use these tools. Let us assume we have a class of 60 students. Out of these 60 students, there would be 10, 15 students who are academically very excellent. They would be able to cope up with any of the questions they have. But then there are a group of 15 to 20 such students who need some push up. I mean, if we would provide something, then they would bank on that and proceed. So what personally I have done is, and I have done it very, I mean, with great intention, that what we could do is after the syllabus gets completed, I have downloaded all the university papers from last 15 years. From this, I have segregated the questions chapter wise. And from each individual chapter, I have segregated questions topic wise. And then I felt that there are 60, 65 questions which have been asked in university papers throughout, not just once, twice, but out of the questions paper, there are at least, if there are 25 questions, then there are at least 15, 17 questions which are repeated just by changing the words. So what I have done is I have prepared a question answer bank of 65 such questions, and I would give it to student at the end of semester. Only for those students who find it difficult to read from books, who find it difficult, they want that if they are given some material, then they would read those material. And to extract information for such question answers, I have prepared a mega prompt, which mega prompt would generate answers that could be written in an exam, university exam. So we could help this in this manner. Again, such AI tools are available, which would generate MCQ quizzes, which would generate online questionnaire, and we could share it with students. But it depends upon, I mean, at present, it would be beyond the scope. Otherwise, I have used it.
Thank you, sir. I hope Dr. Ashwini has got the answer. So now I like to ask Roma Ghai. You can please unmute and you can ask Roma Ghai.
So a very good afternoon, sir, for a very beneficial, useful, informative, whatever words are there, sir, they're very less to say. It was a excellent session for me because I learned so many tools. I had never heard about these tools except Quillbot. So today I got to hear a large number of tools. So my question is, while we are planning a topic for our MPharm students, sir, we need to do some research, right, sir? And in that case, how can we check out that that work has been already done, or maybe this is required? So how can we check? Is there any such AI tool for that when we are
Uh,
planning a research?
Thank you, madam, for your kind words regarding the presentation. While me and Roy sir were discussing, I was of the view that even if I could provide inspiration to some of the participants that we can use AI in publication, it would be the lecture is worth it. Thank you for the kind words. Coming to the question, all these literature review tools which we had just seen, the Research Rabbit, Litmap, Connected Papers, literature.com, etc., etc. Again, if we would have a bird eye view of this, then we would be able to have an idea that this is the research work which has already been done, and this part is lacking, and we could work on this part. The chat PDF part which we had just discussed, the AI tool chat PDF, we could upload multiple papers on that chat PDF and then find out that what is lacking. But again, this everything would percolate down to our perception that whatever we have done, until and unless we don't find exact match, we can do the research on that.
Okay, right, sir. Fine, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I've got
Thank you,
it.
ma'am. So is there anyone who would like to ask a question? You can raise your hand. I can see Mrs. Sweta Mishra. Please, you can unmute and you can ask.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, yes, loud and clear.
Yeah. So, thank you so much, sir. Quite a wonderful session. But I just wanted to ask that using the ChatGPT and the various tools which you had just told, I just wanted to confirm that these sources from where we are getting the information, that is not quite clear. So, is there any AI tool where we can get the information also with the reference from where we are getting the information so that we can cross check whether the data which is provided is correct or not?
Madam, the disadvantage or the limitation with the actual free version of ChatGPT is that it is not able to connect to internet. With other AI chatbots such as Perplexity, Cloud AI, U.com, GLB GPT, etc., is that they are able to connect to real-time word, to real-time information. And with Perplexity, Cloud AI, this U-bot, we are able to find out the correct reference, actual reference. The only thing is, whenever we would write down the prompt, make sure we always write down that we would train that AI chatbot to do not hallucinate, do not make up information. If they don't know it, say that they don't know it. Do not make up the information. When we would be explicitly stating it, they won't hallucinate, they won't make up the information. But Cloud AI, see, madam, these were the 5 very general, very well-known web pages. Cloud AI, Perplexity AI, Copilot, Gemini, and ChatGPT. All these are verified, and so we did not went to there, because if we had gone there, then what would have happened that we might not have been able to discuss all the other tools. But this Perplexity, Cloud AI, then U.com and Copilot, they would be able to get to real-time information and real-time references. For example, with Perplexity, when we would turn towards the Copilot mode, it gives exact references along with the DOIs.
Thank you, sir. I hope ma'am has already get the answer. So I think I cannot see any raised hand. We are at the end of the session. So Dr. Sanishan, please accept this certificate and appreciation from PP7 University as a token of our gratitude and recognition of your informative session. The session is really insightful, really excellent. I hope all the participant has received a lots of information and they can use it for their further publication process. So thank you, sir, again for accepting our invitation and to deliver your insightful session in this EFDP. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It's
Thanks a lot.
entirely my pleasure.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And the audience, you can kindly please fill the feedback form, which is already floated in the chat box. Please, you can fill it because it is mandatory to avail your certificate. So attendance and feedback is already floated in the chat box, and even also we are going to share in the WhatsApp group. So kindly fill it by today itself. Thank you once again. Thank you all. So we'll conclude our day 2 session. By tomorrow, we'll again come up with a new topic, how to build your personal brand by the uses of AI. So please ensure that you should join tomorrow by 9:45 a.m. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all.
Can I leave, sir?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.